Today's first entry comes from the TikTok account Hats Off to the Energy, who says their sister is fixing up an old cabin located somewhere in Oregon, but keeps being interrupted by their dog, who seems really scared of something. Additionally, their young son apparently won't stop talking to someone who isn't even there. In the clip, we see how the user films the exterior of the cabin when, suddenly, something genuinely disturbing happens.
There's something moving in the door. The thing is, that door in there is really stiff. Like all of them are. So, there's nothing hanging there. It's creepy. It's gotta be something. I don't know what the it just, what the holy
There's something moving in the door. The problem is that door is really stuck, like all of them. So there's nothing hanging there. If you look at the upper balcony, you can see some kind of sinister entity peeking out from above toward the person recording, before slowly sliding back inside the cabin, while the user watches in complete shock and amazement. Many people in the comments speculated that the figure could simply be a curtain moved by the wind. However, in a second video, the user returns to the location and seems to rule out that theory by showing there are no curtains hanging in that area, making the original clip even more disturbing. Later, she shows us the interior of the cabin and explains that a couple lived there decades ago. The husband eventually passed away, and it seems all his belongings were left behind. The place seems frozen in time. If the figure wasn't simply a coincidence or optical effect, then something inexplicable might be occurring, whether it's residual energy from the former resident or something completely different. TikTok user SorryDow86 shared a video that quickly disturbed thousands of viewers. The superimposed text in the video is cryptic and chilling, warning that people are afraid of what was captured in the footage, and that she herself can no longer stay in the house. The backstory is brief but disturbing. She had been sent by a real estate agent to clean the house after the last tenants moved out abruptly. According to her, the agent mentioned this kept happening, tenants breaking their leases early, but they never explained why. She probably didn't expect that she would soon understand it herself, not long after the video begins.
Esta casa se ha limpiado muchísimas veces porque rompe el contrato a la gente. Ay, no mames.
A door mysteriously opens by itself. While this alone could be attributed to wind or faulty hinges, the events that follow suggest something much more sinister might be occurring. As the woman slowly moves through the house, more strange sounds echo through the hallways.
Es porque de plano no aguantan a vivir aquí. Y ahorita les voy a enseñar lo demás para allá. Déjenme prender la luz. Entonces, el Señor dice que ya van varias familias. Entonces, el Señor dice que ya van.
But they don't seem to have a visible origin, and the discomfort in the room only increases. Then comes the moment that has left viewers deeply disturbed. Around minute 3:35, a shadowy figure, which many call a shadow person, appears to peek out from behind a door frame.
Se escucha el ruido por acá. No sé qué sea. Escucha mucho ruido. escucha el ruido por acá. No sé qué sea. Escucha mucho ruido. No sé qué sea. Escucha mucho ruido. Tengo que ir a apagar la luz de allá porque se está poniendo ya. Ay, no, no.
It's subtle, but undeniable. About 20 seconds later, another door opens completely by itself. The considerable number of inexplicable occurrences within a single video is notable, and that's part of what makes this clip stand out. It doesn't rely on a single scare. Rather, it builds a disturbing atmosphere, loaded with multiple unsettling details. As with any viral paranormal video, there are skeptics. Some have pointed out that the door movements could be manipulated with fishing line or air currents. However, the appearance of the shadow figure generated real debate. Could it be clever use of visual effects? Maybe, but others argue that the consistency of lighting and shadows makes it feel more organic. If this were fake, it would have been done with remarkable care and subtlety. Whether it's a hoax or not, the story behind the footage, the cycle of tenants fleeing, the chilling warning in the text, and the atmosphere captured in the video add a layer of authenticity that's hard to shake. For now, we can only hope for an update from Sarato86. Until then, the mystery of this house continues to haunt the internet. Elementary schools are generally seen as places of joy, learning and growth. They shape children's minds and provide On TikTok, a woman named Max posted a highly disturbing video on her account, showing legitimately chilling paranormal activity occurring in broad daylight in her house. In the video, we see how Max takes out her phone camera and starts recording because she feels something is wrong. We see her brother sleeping on the couch, completely oblivious that while he rests, something absolutely horrible is nearby, although it appears very briefly. If you look down the hallway at the beginning of the video, you can make out what appears to be some kind of ghostly apparition near the door. In just 1 or 2 seconds, the figure disappears without a trace. In the video description, Max says the clip was recorded 6 years ago, and even now she has no idea what could have been captured on camera that day. If you look closely at the comparative frames, the vacuum cleaner in the hallway remains in exactly the same position, making the sudden vanishing of the figure even stranger. There's no obvious movement or exit, and the change occurs in an instant. Some viewers have speculated it could be a person backing into a room out of sight, or even clever use of video editing. However, the fact that the video is from years ago and has only recently resurfaced makes the hoax theory a bit harder to confirm with certainty. So, what do you think? Was that hallway really haunted, or is there a more earthly explanation hidden, just out of frame? Let me know in the comments. Days. In June 2025, TikTok user Carl Anthony posted a video claiming that strange inexplicable events had been occurring in his home, specifically in the basement. In the video, Carl begins walking through his house with his phone, heading to the basement. His cat, notably nervous, seems to confirm that something isn't right. If you listen carefully, faint knocking can be heard coming from below. Carl opens the basement door and looks down the stairs.
The heck is that? Is that you? What the heck is that? I guess that wasn't you, was it? We're doing this again.
At first, everything seems normal, but then this happens. Moments later, sounds of rapid footsteps going up the stairs can be heard, despite no one being visible. In a second video, Kyle investigates the attic. The clip begins with the attic door making strange noises, as if something was knocking or moving behind it. Kyle then goes up into the space. Alright, for any of you who don't believe this is real and think I'm making it up, I'm about to prove it to you.
Alright, for any of y'all who don't believe that this is real, then I'm just making it up. I'm about to prove it to you.
Once inside, the attic appears completely normal, dusty, empty and silent. Whatever was making noise is nowhere to be found. So, what's happening here? The sequence of sounds in both videos feels chillingly synchronized, especially the disembodied voice and the sudden burst of footsteps, while skeptics might suggest the audio could have been added later or attributed to settling noises. The tension and timing make it seem a bit too precise to be pure coincidence. If it's a hoax, it's been carefully executed. But if it's not, then Carl might be sharing his house with something that doesn't want to remain hidden. This next video comes to us from a YouTuber known as John, who uploaded this disturbing footage to his channel in May 2008. In the first clip, we see the user walking through his house, apparently trying to bless the kitchen, and that's when things begin to take a seriously chilling turn. Several objects are seen thrown to the floor by what appears to be an invisible force. Meanwhile, the camera begins making strange static noises that seem to intensify the chaos. The user's reaction, visibly trembling and breathing rapidly, makes it clear he's completely bewildered by the experience. Then, the video cuts out, but it doesn't end there. Shortly after, a continuation was posted, this time showing footage from a fixed camera placed inside the same kitchen, and what it captures is quite chilling. If you look closely, a strange ghostly figure seems to move through the kitchen before vanishing into thin air. It's a blink and you'll miss it moment, but it's definitely notable once pointed out. Of course, there's always the possibility that the moving objects in the first video were set up with fishing line or off-camera manipulation. As for the second part, some might argue the ghostly figure was added later or could be a trick of light and compression artifacts. So, what do you think? Was it a genuine case of paranormal interference during a home blessing, or is there something more explainable behind the scenes? Either way, it's certainly one of the most memorable poltergeist clips from YouTube's early.
Makan ya.
A woman recorded her pet dog that was behaving very strangely. Please observe. Very clearly recorded. The dog appeared as if something was pulling and tugging its body until it made its body spin around. Seeing the strangeness right in front of her, this woman was instantly silent with fear, unable to do anything but record it. A strange incident was recorded on CCTV installed in an office basement at 12 o'clock midnight, which showed a man behaving very strangely, jumping around, allegedly possessed by a pokong that was chasing a man. Please observe. As we could see, that man was jumping around in the basement courtyard chasing his office colleague who was going home. After being in the corner of the basement, he then stopped and just stood still like a statue, according to the assumptions of witnesses who saw directly and watched the replay on the CCTV recording. The man, who was known to work as an office boy, was indeed experiencing a phenomenon of possession, namely possession by a pogong spirit. What do you think? Please write in the comments section. A man who was working the night shift at a paper factory was startled and got goosebumps when he saw the following apparition. Please observe. Right behind that pile of white-colored papers there was an apparition that at first glance looked like a pokong observing that man. Perhaps because he was used to seeing such apparitions at his workplace, the man didn't feel afraid at all.
Tinggi, putih, gede banget sih, bangsat emang babi lu. Gue samperin juga lu monyet. Kira gue tahu.
A man was surprised and frightened when he saw a video that was recorded by his own child, which showed an apparition in the form of a pokong in their house yard. Observe carefully the following video. There was an apparition of a figure dressed in white with a black face peeking from the window. Then, not long after, the figure that was suspected to be a pokong suddenly flew up. This made his child, who was recording, startled and then turned off the recording.
Mira. Kau tengok benda putih tu.
Mana?
Tu dapat tu, tingkat luar tu.
Tingkat mana?
Tahu tu.
Wongnya.
Tu dapat tu.
Man and several family members who were vacationing at this beach were playfully recording to capture the moment of their family members who were eating food in a hut near the beach. However, please observe that there was an apparition that he didn't realize. Very clearly recorded. There was an apparition of a woman dressed in white with long flowing hair who was sitting quietly beside that hut. The figure that was suspected to be a Kontalanek had a pale white face, and not a single person, including the recorder, realized its presence.
Makan nih ya. Makan. Kok makan kok? Teng. Makan ya. Makan ya. Makan ya. Makan ya.
A hiker who was coming down from the mountain at Maghreb time saw an apparition of a mysterious woman wearing a white dress standing beside the hiking trail. Feeling that this was very strange and unusual, he ignored that figure but managed to record it. Please observe. Clearly recorded on camera, that mysterious woman figure in a white dress initially just stood still among the trees near the hiking trail. Then, not long after, that strange woman figure walked behind that man following him down. However, he acted as if he didn't see anything and continued his journey. Daring to live stream alone in the forest on the night of 1 Suro, this brave man was surprised by the appearance of a pochong with a black and terrifying face.
Ya Allah, bibirnya tebal guys. Bibirnya tebal sekali guys. Allahu Akbar. Bibirnya tebal guys.
A CCTV camera, installed facing this shophouse yard, recorded an apparition of a strange figure as follows. Please observe. As we could see, there was a shadow of a mysterious figure dressed in white walking beside that shophouse. The apparition that at first glance looked like a woman then stood beside the cart and then shortly disappeared. The video shows several people who were in a car traveling. Realizing that the road they were passing was very horrifying, dark and deserted, they instead laughed loudly to eliminate their fear. And then this is what happened. Please observe. Very clearly.
Beli bangun di sana. Nyo tengah bilah kencet serem mah. Kino jauh saya bunuh.
Ya Allah.
Recorded, there was an apparition of a woman with long flowing hair and dressed in white who was sitting quietly on a tree on the left side of the road. Those who realized the presence of the figure that was suspected to be a kuntilanak were instantly very shocked and frightened and then turned off the recording. Company's CCTV camera recorded a strange incident involving a woman who was walking on the highway right in front of that company. Please observe. Very clearly recorded.
Ini perempuan yang ada jalan ini dari bengkel. Ini security ada suruh orang lihat dari CCTV buka jam 2 lewat. Nah, ini perempuan kan lihat. Dia bahagia di sebelah. Dia hilang.
The woman who was walking suddenly disappeared just like that. The security, an officer who realized the strangeness, immediately replayed the CCTV recording to make sure, and it turned out that indeed the woman figure disappeared suddenly,